to molest children, not in a sexual connotation, but in a spiritual connotation, the act of spiritual molestation, is such a profound awakening of the soul, because it's what compels the soul to perform the spiritual act of molestation. That is what you have to realize. It's the compulsion from waking up from within society that compels the individual to molest the child spiritually rather than sexually.
Oh yes, my gay thoughts. I hear my gay thoughts quite frequently. Every now and then my gay thoughts pop up, and it usually happens in the gym or something. I'm just looking in the showers.
We can only be bros if you're over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, we can be more than bros. You see, when you fondle somebody, it's an expression of love. You are showing your affection for that somebody by fondling them. You are fondling the spirit of their soul in the physical realm of their body, of their skin. So when you fondle an individual, when you fondle a child, you are fondling the essence that you are grooming as the parent of that child in order to grow up to be a proper and decent adult in a civilized society. Do you understand the purpose of fondling, the reason behind fondling? Why fondling, the act of fondling, the concept of fondling is so important. You have to fondle children. You have to fondle adults. You have to fondle animals. Anything that you love and care for, it needs to be cared for by the act of fondling. That's the only way you can care for something, is through the act of fondling in the physical realm. Oh, but that's a shame. That's a shame. Because I do. I sure hell do. I love to take pleasure in my own pain and humiliation. Like you said, you have to endure. You have to be willing to sacrifice and endure for what you believe is right. That endurance is what turns me on. That sacrifice is what turns me on. Oh, you just have to shoot a BB gun at my dick. Oh, yes. Yes! Well, consent is merely a structural presence in the absence of thought. What I want to do is help children understand their thoughts. So you see, this is the only way we can obtain true consent. Of course Billy will be fondled. That's the fucking point. It'll be a mass fondling of epic proportions. Epic proportions. Do you understand the magnitude of this level of fondling? This has never been done before in human history. This is absolutely historic. An historic act of fondling. The most ultimate act of fondling. The epic act of fondling is the very social dynamics of fondling itself on the global stage, on the international level. This is the ultimate act of fondling that the fondler can do, is to fondle billions as a collective of fondlers. That is the meaning of fondling children. Don't you see? So we can pass down the act to the future generations, so they can surpass our fondling prowess with their billions of people as well. Canceling me is the same as canceling society, because I'm a member of society. And so canceling a member of society is canceling a portion of the spirit that makes up society, that represents society as is. In order to cancel the essence is to cancel the very being that opposes the essence. So therefore, the canceller is the canceling in the present moment of the cancelled. Just imagine what America would be like if I was president. The age of consent would be lowered to 7. Kids would be required to study the Communist Manifesto in schools. And no mention of FDR or polio. When the fondlers come to fondle people, then the fondling of society will begin in the essence of the fondler's soul. No, I have an even better idea. Why don't we start a party for children called the Little Kiddies Party, and the party's leaders will be the fondlers of the children to groom them to be adults and represent a new society of enlightened individuals. Oh yes, you're right. Since I'm clearly not a contributing member of society, perhaps if I evolve into fertilizer, then my worthless existence can have meaning by being the nutrients for a contributing life. So, perhaps I should be fertilizer. So I can be, that's the only way I can be fertile for productive life to flourish and be born into something good. Incoherent and goofy is what defines language. It's the origins of language. But how can language originate if there isn't archetypes to define it, to point to provide the word context, to direct the meaning of the word, or synthesis as continuations of the definition of the word going together to explain multiple concepts, multiple conceptual environments, multiple social environments. Language is the expression of the individual within society. This is how we express ourselves as members of society. So, as a member of society that's capable of linguistic thought, then we should contribute. The only way we can contribute is by expressing through our incoherent goofiness in order to add to society itself, by adding to the language that expresses society. Just to let you know, I am not trans. I am also straight. I have no connection to the LGBTQIA plus community. I have no connection whatsoever. I am a leftist, yes, and I support their rights, but I am largely connected to economic issues, so not social issues. I personally could care less about social issues. No, I already told you that I can't be an Epstein file because I didn't need Epstein to find underage women. I had other ways of finding my underage women. So therefore I cannot be an Epstein file. I didn't have to put myself in danger, in that kind of risky situation of getting caught, of having my pedophilic activities get caught. So no, I'm not in the files. I'm not in those files. Let's say I'm not in those. I might be in other files. Okay, I admit I might be in other files that haven't came out yet. Maybe come out at a later date in the future, under the pretense of a new situation. But until that new situation arises, I am safe. I am safe because I didn't put myself in that dangerous predicament of dealing with Jeffrey Epstein, of a high-profile individual like Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't need to. I didn't need to. That's all. No, I'm not an incel. It's not involuntary. I can have sex anytime I want. I could have a girlfriend anytime I want, so I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't cross my mind. If I want to have sex, I will go and have sex. If I want a girlfriend, well, I probably would have to find a girlfriend to have sex. But the point being, I could have a woman when I want to have a woman, so I don't care. I have other things on my mind. It's not involuntary. Involuntary celibacy. Involuntary celibacy. Yeah, I think that's what it stands for. Yeah, it's not involuntary. I'm not ugly. You call me ugly? I think I said, yeah, you call me ugly. It's like what Nixon said, if the president does it, it's not illegal. So I simply need to become president so I can get away with, well, I'll leave it out. I have been receiving that comparison for over a year now since I started TikTok. I actually had no idea who she was until people like you. I did stumble upon some of her content before she went to prison. I forget the details, so it's none of my business. But other than our looks and voice, we really have nothing in common. That's about it. It's my voice and our appearance. That's about all we have in common. Of course there's illegal stuff on my hard drive. I can watch CP and I still can't get arrested. Now what? Ha 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 ha! So the truth comes out. Come on, that was a year ago. You just gotta let it go. And I think it's obvious by now that I'm clearly not a pedophile, so just let it go. Geez Louise, what are you trying to prove? Being a fool is subjective. One man's fool is another man's wise man. How do you know I'm a fool? Why am I a fool from your perspective? What is it about me that you find to be foolish? My foolishness could be wise from another's perspective. Who is you to say that I am a fool? By whose authority am I a fool? Your authority? Well, what is your authority based on? Based on what you know? Okay, well, maybe I am a fool then. But I embrace the foolishness within in order to excel in the very essence of life itself. Only the fool will understand the meaning behind everything you see. The metaphysical instead of the physical. That's what it means to be a metaphysicist. The beyond, rather than
the literal.
Of course, so you only have a year, so you have to make it quick. I am a Yapist. I adhere to the ideology of Yapism. And what Yapism states is that the human mind expresses itself through speaking as a mechanism of exchange. Through your conscious awareness, what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, when the collective unconscious becomes conscious, the individuation process, that will be expressed, be manifested through yapping, through the ability to yap. But that is not to be conflated or confused with the pronoun yapper. The pronoun yapper is culturally defined as someone who is unconscious of his yapping, unconscious of his speaking, unconscious of his mind. So instead of expressing the human mind, he is processing the human mind from his collective surroundings. This is the difference, the fundamental difference of Yapists and Yappers. I am a Yapist because I'm aware of my mind, while a Yapper is unaware of his mind. He's processing instead of expressing. He's processing society instead of expressing society. I am the idea of society as a Yapist. The Yapper is the condition of society, the carrying out of my will, of the Yapist's will. The Yapper is the physical extension of the Yapist, the yin and the yang, if you will. I am straight.
Oh, I definitely do have straight thoughts, I can tell you that. All you have to do is ask my female neighbor. She still won't talk to me out of fear of what I could do to her. Walking into the women's bathroom with a girl toilet and then leaving before security is called.
The absence of a life partner exposes a profound sense of the self that can only be obtained through the blessed freedom that solitude brings an individual, such as myself. By choosing to not have a wife, I am embarking on a journey of profound wisdom that can pass down through the ages by the destiny of absence. All right, you win. I'm officially turning myself into the authorities. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted, me in person? Okay, well, you got it. You fucking got it. No more me making TikToks. No more me. No more poor little me making TikToks for you to troll and make fun of. No, your laughs are over. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted? You don't want to mess with me anymore? How you want to end it? I just got out of the shower, if you couldn't tell. So these accusations, these false accusations, that's what they are. These false accusations is exactly what they are. Brought forth unhygienic or unkempt was the use McGregor like to use. It's just that false and not based in reality, not based in objective reality, because I clearly do take care of myself. I clearly am kempt. I am very much kempt, not unkempt, but kempt. I definitely take care of myself. I'm hygienic. I keep up with myself to a great deal, and I would thank you to credit me for this. Okay, I clearly do try my best to keep up with myself and be kempt and hygienic and have a great deal of appearance. I care a great deal of my appearance. That is where it comes from. Okay, about that you can accuse me of. This is not it.
Does it look like I'm joking? I clearly don't use toilet paper. I forget, I think this was there when I moved in. I haven't used toilet paper in years.
Because it sells. What else? I am still a content creator after all. You can't really blame me for conducting good business, can you?
Something funny just happened to me. I was just playing on my phone, looking through TikTok as usual. Next thing I know, my neighbor downstairs is just yelling and screaming and throwing a hissy fit at my other neighbor upstairs. Apparently accused me of pounding or whatnot. I honestly had no idea what this was about. It piqued my interest. I just came out as a spectator to watch. Big mistake. Because then he starts targeting me, saying I was the one pounding, and apparently I was, because he kept my tripod in the bed. I didn't even know it came, thinking that I would look for it and you have a chance to talk to me. Threw it, broke my screen. So I have my tripod now, so I'll probably just mess with the guy until he gives up. It'll give me something to do. I found it quite amusing. He gave me a source of entertainment, so for that I am internally grateful.
Okay, I'm going to cool down on the PDF and CP stuff for a while. It was getting old anyway. I usually only pick it back up when people forget or there's a new crowd, and it's an easy way for me to gain traction really fast. I've been doing this for the past 2 years and it has been working, but admittedly it's a little, on the borderline, let's just put it that way, on the borderline, so. It was getting old, so it would appear the traction is dying down, so I think it's time for me to cool down on that. Plus, it's not sustainable in the long run because, I'm liable to accumulate violations and such and get my account banned, which defeats the purpose. I definitely do not want that, so. Anywho, I'll start making more serious content, I suppose. Or maybe not, it varies.
Come get in my van, little boy. Well, perhaps you're right. For what shall it profit a man if he gained the whole world and suffered the loss of his soul? I suppose maybe I won't be a functioning member of society. So I will simply have to create my own society to function in it. By changing the idea that I represent, and thus change society by changing myself from within society. That's all.
I just realized something. There is something seriously wrong with me. I have serious underlying debilitating psychological disorders that need to be resolved pronto. I need to be committed in order to resolve these neuroses. Something catastrophic is liable to manifest if these underlying conditions are not resolved. If they continue to fester in my unconscious, then when it becomes conscious, who knows what will happen. I need to become committed. I need to be under 24/7 surveillance. Psychological, not just psychological, but psychiatric surveillance. I need to be heavily medicated, heavily sedated, in order to maintain social peace and harmony, that I won't pose a threat to the social peace and to harmony. You are all going to die! You're gonna die one day!